This is Jason Artiga, and this is another episode of Cinema Macabro. Today's video will be about It, the Terror from Beyond Space, directed by Edward L Cohn.
How could that thing have gotten aboard?
And why? Just to kill us?
There's the usual reason an intelligent creature kills.
It's hungry?
In the 1950s, sci-fi horror was the vehicle in bringing back audiences to the movie theaters. After the World War II, we had what's called the baby boomers. Housing became widely available through GI grants and low-interest mortgages. You had real estate setting up communities like Levittown in Long Island, New York, preparing for the nuclear family. Often, televisions were given with a house, even having a wall installation built in the house to attract buyers. And during this time of the baby boom, fewer people were going to the movie theaters and staying home watching televisions with their families. It wasn't until producers such as Roger Corman or James H. Nicholson and Samuel Arkoff of American International Pictures, or AIP, produced beach films for younger audiences, which were proven successful and started to slowly bring back that audience. It wasn't until Corman produced It Conquered the World that sci-fi horror proved to be a success and driven audiences back to the silver screen. During this period, sci-fi horror had a recurring theme of creatures mutated by atomic radiation, an alien invasion, or the indestructible creature. Most of these films use pronouns in their titles like It Conquered the World, them, and what I'm going to review today, It, the Terror from Beyond Space. Sci-fi horror proved to be successful despite being shot on very low budgets. They had high turnouts at the box office, and in 1957, a film directed by Edward L Cohn, who already was an established director in Hollywood, was producing a film. However, this proved to be a challenge for the director, going from the grand production of a studio film to the low-budget world of sci-fi horror schlock. It, the Terror from Beyond Space was a completely different film. Had the theme of the space stowaway, which was explored in a movie like Queen of Blood 10 years later, then Planet of Vampires. Partially inspired by the sci-fi short story Black Destroyer, and where a panther-like creature from a planet stalks the crew, and later getting on their ship, killing them one by one. Now, does this sound familiar? It, the Terror from Beyond Space was going to be 50 schlock. However, producers decided to hire painter Paul Blaisdell, who was known for designing posters of the 50 sci-fi films, to design this creature. This costume would have been the most expensive thing about the film. Ray Crash Corrigan was hired to play the creature due to his massive size and being a known actor since the early years of studio Hollywood. Ray was the perfect size for the creature, but that came at a price. Ray was pretty much hard to work with, and one story during pre-production, the artist wanted to cast Ray's head to make the creature's mask fit perfectly. Ray refused to do the fitting and the casting for the mask, and the mask was pretty much guesstimated. And when the mask was complete, it was too small for Ray's head, including his chin, which protruded from the creature's mouth. The special effects crew had no other solution other than to paint Ray's chin as the creature's tongue, making this awkward mouth open look on a rather expensive creature design. During production, Ray became a problem on set, and due to his alcoholism, you can see it in some scenes where the creature's lumbers. He was a fucking ass on the picture. The film's synopsis, taken from IMDb: in 1973, the first manned expedition to Mars is marooned. By the time a rescue mission arrives, there's only one survivor, leader Colonel Edward Carruthers, played by Marshall Thompson, who appears to murder the others. According to Carruthers, an unknown life form killed his comrades during a sandstorm, but the skeptical rescuers little suspect that it has stowed away for the voyage back to Earth. Now, the film is straight on. It's not too complicated, but it's heavily flawed on its logic. It has a lame romantic subplot. It shows sexism during the years often depicted in shows like Mad Men, where the female scientists fetch coffee for the rest of the male crew. At times, the action is the major part of the flawed logic, in where the crew uses rifles, bazookas, and grenades to kill this indestructible creature on a ship. Now, can you fucking imagine if a grenade goes off on a ship? Despite the flaws on the film, it has truly great moments in its cinematography. DP Kenneth Peach, who pretty much shot a lot of the episodes of The Outer Limits, lenses this film brilliantly, using shadow and light to hide the creature, but also fails when revealing the creature way too much. Alien took this lesson, showing the audience that less is more. This movie shot on a 1.85:1 ratio, and it looks marvelous on Blu-ray. In an interview with John Carpenter for Turner Classic Movies, director Carpenter revealed that the film was shot in 6 days, and fellow Dark Star alum Dan O'Bannon, who also wrote Alien, said it was a major influence in writing Alien. Years later, it was given a comic book remake from Millennium Comics in 1992. A fellow Cinema Macabro subscriber, Kitty Macabre, sent me 2 comics. The remake of the book enhances the designs of the ship and suits to a more modern look, and making the creature look more menacing. Sadly, this series was never finished and stuck on issue 2. You can buy back issues of it on eBay. In 2011, IDW did their own remake of It, The Terror from Beyond Space, with a look more fitting to the year that it was shot. It was definitely an influence on Alien and many other ripoffs that have followed, and almost lost to the sea of sci-fi schlock in the 50s. So far, years after Alien, it's going to be close to 40 years that Alien came out, and a film that was shot in 57 is now appreciated and seen as the original inspiration to one of the best sci-fi horror films that we ever saw. So guys, if you want to leave a comment, leave one in the comment box below, and please subscribe, people. And with that, I'll see you at the next episode.